This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
Fighting for justice, family and friends of a woman police say was killed on the downtown canal are gathering tonight, pushing for answers in her case. Thanks for joining us here at 6 o'clock. I'm Nicole Griffin. This comes just 3 weeks after the 24-year-old woman was killed, and at last check, no arrests have been made. The Justice for Jessica Doty Whitaker Remembrance Rally and Celebration of Life March brought people together to gather in prayer. A march was originally scheduled, but due to hot weather today, organizers decided to gather on the canal where police say Doty Whitaker was killed. Their goal today to raise awareness and ask the community for help of finding the person who took her life.
I feel that Jessica would want something good and positive to come from all this. She was a mom, she was a daughter, she was an aunt, she had family, just like everybody else does. I don't believe any words is worth somebody taking their life.
Doty Whitaker was shot, according to IMPD, at 729 Canal Court on July 5th around 3:30 a.m. Police have released surveillance images of people who may be witnesses and or persons of interest in her death. The homicide is one of 2 on the canal in recent weeks. IMPD is increasing security in that area, adding 2 off-duty overnight shifts from 10:30 p.m. to 5 a.m. Today, hundreds took a journey from Marion to Johnson County to raise money to honor 2 teenage girls murdered in Carroll County. Our Rafael Sanchez has been following this story for more than 3 years and shares with us the ride to raise awareness and build a memorial park.
The roar of the engines represented a record 226 bikes participating in this annual ride.
I feel amazed by everybody showing up, coming out to support it. Like on my way here, I can look back in my mirrors and see all the bikes, and it just brought tears to my eyes.
It touches your heart, you know, and it does mine, and knowing that these people care enough to just keep coming back.
The 4th annual event begins at the Kitley Inn in Indianapolis and makes several stops, like this one at the Crowbar Restaurant in Trafalgar in Johnson County. This, a show of support for the families of Abby Williams and Libby German, the 2 teenage girls killed in Delphi in February 2017. No arrests have been made.
To continue to work with law enforcement, I'm still in touch with them, weekly, every other week. They're staying on it. They're still focused, and I'm sure I'm hopeful, and I pray that we get some sort of resolution on that end of it as well.
The ride is also about this, raising money for a memorial park being built in the girls' memory in Carroll County. On the way back to Indianapolis, the bikes stop traffic, but there are no detours in their hopes that today is the day. In Trafalgar, in Johnson County, Rafael Sanchez, RTV6.
Rafael, thank you. A developing story tonight. A Missouri judge ordered an Indianapolis man accused of killing his 10-year-old son to be extradited to Indiana, where he's facing a murder charge. Anthony DeBaya has been held at a jail in Macon, Missouri since Missouri State Highway Patrol officers arrested him on July 19th after he drove away from Indiana. Indiana authorities have until 10 a.m. August 3rd to take DeBaya into custody. The judge ordered DeBaya to be released if he is not picked up by that time. The Marion County prosecutor charged DeBaya on July 20th with the murder in the death of his son, Nakota Kelly. DeBaya allegedly told someone over the phone that he suffocated his son with a bag until he stopped breathing. DeBaya reportedly said he took Nakota into the bathroom to make sure he was dead and then dumped his body. Metro police officers are still searching for Nakota's remains. Continuing our coverage of the coronavirus and its impact on Indiana, the state health department reports 11 more COVID-19 deaths and 934 new cases. 2,698 Hoosiers have now died from the coronavirus. More than 61,000 Hoosiers have tested positive for the virus. More than 690,000 people have been tested in Indiana, with 8.9% testing positive. Now let's get a national snapshot of COVID-19. More than 73,000 COVID-19 cases reported in a single day. This as the CDC lays out new guidelines to reopen schools. ABC's Megan Tavrizian has the latest.
Today, Florida now surpassing New York in total statewide COVID-19 cases, second only to California. With deaths and hospitalizations rising in many states, 150 doctors signed this public letter telling America's decision makers that the U.S. needs to shut down again amid the surge. Dr. Anne Ramoyne signed the letter.
That we all opened up too soon. We underestimated the virus. We underestimated spread. We really are on track to lose many, many more American lives.
The nation's leading infectious disease expert, Dr. Anthony Fauci, saying the pandemic is far from over.
Particularly the southern states which have gotten into trouble. But you certainly have to call a pause and maybe even a backing up a bit.
In Texas, cases are soaring. This Austin Convention Center turning into a field hospital. These images from a hospital in the Rio Grande Valley showing medical units pushed to their limit on the brink of having to make tough decisions of which patients will survive.
And we don't have the resources to be helping them.
Meantime, the CDC making a push to get kids back in the classroom, laying out new guidelines for schools across the country that include keeping kids in pods, social distancing, and wearing masks. This just a week after President Trump criticized the original guidelines, calling them too expensive and tough. Today, Vice President Mike Pence making a push to reopen schools at an event with Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker.
Governor, like you, we simply believe that it's best for our kids to be back in the classroom. It's best for working families, and it's the best for our country.
But former CDC Director Dr. Tom Frieden saying the challenge will be how to keep schools open if cases continue to rise.
You can't keep a school open if cases are exploding in the community. It's just not going to be possible.
Megan Chavrizian, ABC News, San Diego.
This pandemic is ravaging communities and cities all over the nation, particularly minority communities.
In response to a recent rise of COVID-19 cases, a free drive-through pop-up testing location was held today on the northwest side of Indianapolis. From 9 until noon, the Marion County Health Department held a drive-through testing site at Witherspoon Presbyterian Church on North Michigan Road. We talked to the pastor who says the church often partners with the health department and City County Councilor Monroe Gray on various initiatives to help serve the community. He says to be able to host this testing site is an opportunity to ensure the safety and well-being of the community, and it falls in line with the values of the church and the role they play on the northwest side.
Today is a wonderful example of our congregational commitment to continue to be a resource. The health department, through its data, understanding that this area has a high concentration and a high need, Witherspoon was a superb location to be able, and we were elated to honor that request.
The people need to be able to be tested. And we're hearing so much about doing testing, and the people in the black community has not been tested. So to bring it here will give them an opportunity to come and be tested in a situation where they feel comfortable.
If you were not able to get tested here today, you can get tested at the Marion County Public Health Department on North Rural Street throughout the week. And there is also a site on Shelby Street on Tuesdays and Thursdays at the Southside Health Department location. Kids in Marion County received free back-to-school supplies today, courtesy of the Salvation Army. RTV6's Stephanie Wade was there, seeing the smiling faces as families picked out their items.
Right now, kids are picking up backpacks and other school supplies as part of the Salvation Army's back-to-school prep. This specific event is serving families in Marion County and east of Meridian Street.
As kids get ready to head back to school, COVID-19 has put many families in difficult positions financially, worried how they can afford everything their children need for this school year.
It's helping because financially, we're struggling. And so being able to come get the book bags and some supplies, since they definitely have to have their individuals, is definitely going to be a great help for our family this year.
I think especially this year, it is so important for us to do these kind of distributions because COVID-19 has been hard on everyone. Most of the families that we serve have already been in a vulnerable position, especially financially, and now they're trying to make additionally difficult decisions on less income.
The Salvation Army of Fountain Square handed out book bags and school supplies to 300 children today in Marion County, equipping them with the tools they need to be successful this school year. Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
Stephanie, thank you. And to get involved or help with the Salvation Army, just visit their website at salvationarmyindiana.org. Now to your Storm Team 6 forecast. Meteorologist Kyle Mounds standing by on this hot Saturday. Hi, Kyle.
Yeah, Nicole, plenty of summer heat here for the last weekend of July, and a lot of orange on the map to represent that. Made it to 88 degrees in Indianapolis this afternoon, even made it to 90 for you in Sullivan and Bedford. You're not too far away from that right now, while it's 84 in Indy and Richmond. Satellite and radar picture shows high pressure remaining in control, and that's keeping us very quiet. All the rain well off to our south and northwest. So if you've got some Saturday evening plans, forecast looking great here. Temperatures are going to settle through the 80s right on through 9 o'clock here, and that sun setting just after 9 o'clock as well. We'll talk about some rising rain chances, though, in your forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Kyle, thank you. He was part of American television for decades. People knew him simply as a Regis. He never seemed to run out of things to say, but now his broadcasts have gone silent. Coming up, remembering the life of Regis Philbin.
This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
Sad news tonight. Longtime TV host Regis Philbin died last night of natural causes. He was 1 month shy of his 89th birthday. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez takes a look at the life of a TV legend.
You have a sleeping problem, Joy.
A television fixture for more than half a century, Regis Philbin's eclectic interview style, folksy banter, and self-deprecating sense of humor made him the talk show host others wanted to emulate. Philbin was raised in the Bronx. After a stint in the Navy, he headed west to San Diego, where he landed his first talk show, The Regis Philbin Show.
We'll be right back now.
Philbin's sprint to talk show superstardom brought him next to Los Angeles, where he took over hosting duties from Steve Allen, before finally bursting onto the national stage as the sidekick on The Joey Bishop Show.
The hottest thing on records, Regis Philbin.
Yeah! What is that? It's live with Regis and Kathy Lee.
In 1985, he was back home in New York, sharing interview duties with Kathy Lee Gifford. Their show, Live with Regis and Kathy Lee, became a ratings winner, with the popular duo working together for 15 years.
It's Live with Regis and Kelly.
In 2001, soap opera star Kelly Ripa inherited the stool beside Regis, their on-air chemistry winning them a Daytime Emmy Award for Outstanding Talk Show that same year. 3 years later, Philbin broke the Guinness World Record for most time on camera, then of 15,188 hours.
But this will be my last year on this show. And it was the biggest thrill of my life. Thanks, everybody.
In 2011, stepping down from the perennially successful program Live after nearly 28 years. The veteran broadcaster also graced primetime, most notably as the host of the popular game show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Final answer?
Final answer.
He was married twice and had 4 children. A multi-talented entertainment writer, comedian, and television personality, Philbin will be remembered as a gold standard mixture of sarcastic wit and genuine warmth. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, New York.
Marcy, thank you. Regis Philbin is survived by his wife of 50 years, Joy, and daughters JJ, Joanna, and Amy. His son Daniel died in 2014. Let's now get another check of your Storm Team 6 forecast with Kyle.
And Nicole, we want to start you off actually in South Texas because we have the first hurricane of the Atlantic season, and it has made landfall there in South Texas as a Category 1 hurricane with max winds of 90 miles per hour. Now, it's going to continue to move to the west across Mexico, have no influence in our weather here in central Indiana. So it remains toasty here this weekend. Temperatures 84 degrees in Indy and Kokomo right now, lots of sunshine, and 88 on the thermometer in Bloomington. Tonight, we'll keep those skies mostly clear, so quiet weather continues. A mild low of 68 with just a very light southwest wind, and maybe you're heading out on the boat tomorrow. Going to be a good day to stir up a breeze out there on the lake, as we'll have temperatures already to 80 at 10 a.m. We'll get to 85 at noon, and I think most locations will reach that 90-degree mark with lots of sunshine, so don't forget that sunscreen, whether you're out on the lake or just out in the backyard. High temperature 90 in Indy, 91 for Columbus Columbus and 92 in Lafayette. Now, tomorrow it is going to be more humid. We kind of get back into that tropical feel. So we got to factor that in, and what it's going to feel like as we get into the afternoon and evening, those heat index values in the middle to possibly upper 90s in a few spots. So certainly going to be sweating it out here Sunday afternoon, and rain chances remaining very low. TrueCast showing at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday. Not a whole lot going on. If we see a pop-up shower or thunderstorm, I think the best chances are going to be over the western or southern portions of the state. So most of us not going to see a drop of rain here throughout the weekend. Rain chances, they do go up, though, on Monday, and it should be fairly widespread here as we get into the afternoon and evening hours. You can see by 2 o'clock Monday afternoon, likely going to need the umbrella, that 60% chance of rain. So here's a look at TrueCast Monday mid-morning at 10 a.m. Still the rain off to the northwest, but then it starts to fill in and slide to the southeast. Again, although it's going to be fairly widespread, not all that heavy for us. It's still going to be lingering around as we get into Monday night, but most of the wet weather should be out of here as we go into Tuesday morning. Right now, it looks like maybe about a half an inch of rainfall, but there is that marginal risk. A couple of those storms could be on the strong to possibly severe side Monday afternoon and evening with some gusty winds. 7-day planning forecast behind that system, things quieting down a little bit once again, and will be more comfortable. The humidity will drop, and we'll have those highs in the middle 80s here. So going to be feeling pretty good as we go into next weekend. We're going to keep those highs in the lower 80s with just a small chance for rain. Dave?
And I'm Dave First. The Pacers' Malcolm Brogdon is back from his COVID-19 diagnosis, but the first assist of the restart season comes off the court. Coming up in the Sports Extra Spotlight.
The Pacers continue to work out inside the NBA bubble in Orlando. Their first game is set for August 1st, but player Malcolm Brogdon is savoring a victory of another sort. Nearly 2 months after he took part in the social injustice protests in Atlanta, he backs up his words with action, part of the NBA's new foundation moving forward. Sports director Dave First with the Sports Extra Spotlight.
He's back from COVID-19 and back at practice, but don't let the mask fool you. On a Zoom news conference, the Pacers' Malcolm Brogdon still has a lot to say.
Just growing up, I've always had the opportunity to travel to Africa, Ghana, Malawi, South Africa. I was always able to see poverty, see people that are less privileged than I am at a young age. And that always stuck with me.
As a result, Malcolm launching a new website and foundation at the BrogdonFamilyFoundation.org with the goals of social justice, advocacy, equal access to education, and a clean water infrastructure in Africa.
It's always been a passion of mine. It's always been something where I knew I would want to help people. I knew I'd want that to be my life's passion. I just didn't know how I would do it or through what means or what avenue.
It comes as Malcolm completes his first season with the Pacers and the fourth overall with career highs in points, assists, and rebounds.
I got brothers, I got sisters, I got friends that are in the streets, that are out here.
The young man who helped lead peaceful protests in Atlanta, not unlike his grandfather did with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., now backing it up off the court as much as he'd like on it when games resume.
Malcolm, I know there was a big discussion a couple of weeks ago about to play or not to play, but bottom line, playing gives you this extra voice now to really let people know about this foundation.
Playing allows you to amplify your platform. It allows people to continue to focus on you. And by focusing on you, they're indirectly going to focus on whatever you're saying to the media. They're focusing on whatever you put on your jersey. They're focusing on everything you do. I think I can actually make more noise. I can have a bigger platform and a bigger voice while playing and while continuing my work here in the bubble.
He'll start education programs in Indianapolis and spread from there. The Pacers have made points all season long, making some very big ones for years to come. Dave First, RTV6 Sports.
The Indianapolis Colts say they expect a 25% capacity limit at Lucas Oil Stadium during the 2020 season due to state and local regulations surrounding the COVID-19 pandemic. Under the limit, a maximum of about 15,000 fans would be allowed into the 63,000-seat stadium. The team will offer 2 half-season ticket packages for 2020, with seniority determining who will get to attend games. For more details on how limited capacity will affect season ticket holders, click on this this story on the IndyChannel.com. Kyle.
Football season getting closer. We still have plenty of summer to get through, though. A high temperature around 90 degrees tomorrow, and then we'll have that increasing chance for rain on Monday. That'll cool us off for the rest of the week, Nicole.
All right, Kyle, thank you. And thank you so much for joining us. See you back here tonight at 11.